right, now I'm going to change 0.54 to a fraction. To make this a fraction, I'm going to go ahead and put equals and a fraction bar. There it is. All right. Am I going to have anything in front of this fraction? No, because it has a 0. All right, what's going to go on top of this fraction? Try it. 54. 54 is behind the decimal, so 54 goes on top. What's going to go on the bottom of this fraction, Braden? 100. All right, can I simplify 54 over 100? Mary Webb, what can I use to simplify it? 2. They're both even numbers, so I can divide them by 2. All right, guys, do you see how neatly I'm writing out my work so it's easy to read? I know what's going on. 54 divided by 2. Does anyone know the answer to that one? 54 divided by 2. Noah? 27. And 100 divided by 2? Is 50. All right. 27 and 50. Can I simplify that any? No. All right, so there's my answer. Double checking my work for me. This is my first time working it, just like y'all. All right? All right, number 2. For number 2, I'm changing 33.33 to a fraction. What's the first thing that I can write down? Braden? Not quite yet. Not the line yet. Gabby? 3. 3 is in front of the decimal, so I want to make sure I put a 3 in front of my fraction. And then, yes, we're going to put our line. And Braden, where am I going to put my 33? Where am I going to put it in my fraction? On the top, because it's behind the decimal. And what's going to go on the bottom of that? 100. Because there are 2 3s, which means we need 2 zeros. All right, can that simplify? 33 and 100, can it simplify? Nope, it cannot. 3 and 11 are the only things that will go into 33, and 3 cannot go into 100 perfectly, and 11 cannot go into 100 perfectly. So that is it. All right, number 3. I'm just going to do it right here. So I have 87.2. Okay. What can I go ahead and write down?
87.
The 87. So I'm going to put 87 in front. Remember, we want to make sure 87 is in the middle, not on the top, not on the bottom. We want to make sure it's in the middle and the front. All right. What's going to go on top this time? Peyton? 2. What's going to go on the bottom here, Peyton? 10. Why did I put 10 and not 100?
Because there's only one number.
There's only one number behind the decimal, which means I only want 1 0 there. Okay, let me move this out of the way. All right, can this one simplify?
Yes.
Yes. What number can I use to simplify that? 2. So let's divide those by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So my answer is 1/5. 87. We've got to remember that whole number. Very good, okay? So make sure you have 87 and 1/5. If you forget it, you can't just put it at the end. 87 has to be in the front, okay? All right, questions about 1, 2, or 3? All right, let's look at number 4. Number 4. So we have 11 and a half. And I'm wanting to make that a decimal. What do I know is going to go in front of the decimal? 11. 11 is in front of the fraction, so I'm going to put 11 in front of my decimal. So there it is. So far, I have 11 and 11. I need to make the 1/2 a decimal. So what am I going to do to do that? What do I need to do?
Put the 2 next to the door and put the 1 in the house.
2 at the door, 1 in the house. I'm just setting that up below so I can actually work out my math. Okay? Can 2 go into 1? No, which is fine because our whole goal is to add a decimal and a 0 and make sure we raise that up to the root. All right, 2 cannot go into 1. Can 2 go into 10?
Yes.
How many times? 5. Make sure you put the 5 above the 0 that we're dividing that into. All right, so 2 will go into 10 5 times. 2 times 10, 2 times 5 is? 10. When I subtract, I get? 0. So is there anything else to that problem? So what's going to go behind the 11? 5. 11.5 is my answer. Okay. Good so far? All right. You feel like it's helping to kind of go through these one at a time together? All right. I feel like it's making sure we're doing these correctly. I don't want you doing them wrong all night and then setting them up wrong tomorrow. So 54 and 5/15. What can I go ahead and put in front? 54. If it's in front of the fraction, it's going to be in front of the decimal. So there we go. 54 and a dot. All right. How am I going to set it up to work at this problem out? Raise your hand. Someone new. Raise your hand. How am I going to set it up to work it out? Easton, can you help me out with that? How am I going to change 5/15 into a decimal? What process am I going to do? Mary Webb? I'm going to divide. So here's my division. Da-da-da. There we go. All right, when I divide, what number is going to be at the door? Easton? The 15. Remember, whatever is down goes at the door. Whatever is down goes at the door. So 15's at the door. And in the house, we're going to have 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my decimal and a 0. Make sure we raise it to the 3. All right, can 15 go into 5? No, so I'm just going to leave it blank. Can 15 go into 50? Yes. How many times do we think 15 will go into 50? What do you think? 3. And remember, guys, if we're not sure, we can always go over to the side. We have 15. 15 times 2 is? 30. 15 times 3, when I add 15 more to that, I get 45. So that's really close. And then 15 times 4 would be 60. So we need times 3. So 3 times 15 was 45. When I subtract, I get 5. If I add a 0 and bring it down, what do I get again here? 50. 15 will go into 50. How many times? 3. And I'm going to keep getting that 3 over and over and over. So what does that mean I need to write for my answer?
54.3 with a dash.
Yeah, we have our 54.3, and we're going to put a dash over that 3 so we know it repeats. Excellent job. All right. Number 6. Does number 6, which is 9/24, does number 6 have anything in front? So do I need anything in front of my decimal? No. So I can just put my decimal. If I wanted to, what could I put in front of it? 0. I could put a 0, but we do not have to. All right. So what am I going to do to set this up? Braden, what am I going to be doing here? 24 at the door. Very good. 9 inside. Perfect job. Okay. All right. And we know that 24 can't go into 9, so I'm going to go ahead and add my 0.0 and raise it to the root. All right. 24 is a number I'm not super familiar with, so I'm going to make my list over here. 24. If I multiply that times 2, I get 48. If I add 24 to that again, 4 plus 8 is 12. When I carry the 1, that gives me 72. All right, 72 is getting closer to 90, right? I'm going to add 24 again, which gives me 96. Can I use 96? No, so I'm going to want that 72. What am I multiplying by to get 72? 3. So I'm going to put 3 here. 3 times 24 was 72. All right, I have to subtract. Can I do 0 minus 2? No, so my 9 becomes 8. 10 minus 2 is? 8. And 8 minus 7 is? 1. We need to add a 0 and bring it down. Has the number repeated yet? No, so I've got to keep dividing. So 180. I'm going to have to go past 96, aren't I? All right, so when I add 24 to that, I end up with, let's see, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm multiplying that times 5, 120. All right, adding 24 to that, I get 144. I'm getting closer. Adding 24 to that, I get 168. Getting closer. I want to make sure I can't go any closer than that. Let's see, 8 plus 4 is 12, carrying the 1, 192, is that going to work? No, so 68. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're multiplying by 7. 7 times 24 is 168. Let's subtract that. 0 minus 8? Can't do it. So I'm going to borrow. That becomes 7. 10 minus 8 is 2. 7 minus 6? 1. Okay, so I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. Has anything repeated yet? No, we have to keep going. All right, how many times will 24 go into 120? 5. Did having my list of numbers here help me? Yeah, when I got down here, did I have to make another list? Did I have to redo a bunch of work? No, because I left it there. Remember, guys, don't erase that work once you work it out because I might need it again. So here's my 120, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put 5. 5 times 24 is 120, so I get the end of my problem. So for my answer here, there's nothing in front, and we just have 375. So 0.375. Or 375,000. All right. Number 7 says 2/9, and it's wanting me to simplify. How am I going to simplify 2/9? What number can go into 2 and into 9? What number can go into 2 and into 9? What was that, Noah? Nothing! So can I simplify this? Yeah. So my answer to simplify 2/9 is just 2/9. That's it. I can't do anything. All right, that's as small as it can go. All right, this happened in, I know one of my advanced classes might have happened to some of us today. Last period, I know on the homework, there was a problem that wouldn't simplify. So they just didn't write anything. If you don't write anything, have you written an answer? No. If you don't write anything, do I know that you did the problem? No. So you have to just rewrite that fraction and say, that's it. All right, so my answer here is 2/9. So let's look at number 8. Number 8, I get 3/33. All right, so that one is going to simplify. What number can go into 3 and into 33? Raise your hand, please. No? 3. So we're going to divide these both by 3. On the top, I now have 1, and 33 divided by 3 is 11. So I get 1/11. All right, number 9. 18/81. What number can go into 18 and into 81? What was that, Trey? 9. All right, did 2 work? No, 2 won't go into 81. So I know automatically 2 doesn't work. I know automatically 2 isn't going to work, so I'm going to want to think of bigger numbers. 3 is another one I'd like for you to try. All right, I like that Jakari was able to look at this and go, hey, I know 9 goes into 18. Will 9 go to 81? Yeah, so 9's a great one to divide by. You could also have divided by 3, but 9 is a great choice. So 18 divided by 9 is? 2, and 81 divided by 9 is? 9. All right, guys, on your test, look, I'm even going to look at it just to double check. On your test, the numbers that you divide by will be those basic numbers. So if you try the numbers 1 through 12 and they can't work, then you're probably good on your test for 6th grade math. That's tomorrow. Okay? Good job on number 9. Are there any questions about number 9? Questions about the test, Jakari? Yes.
This is like going to be the last big test of the
So this 9 weeks, we do have this test on Wednesday. We're going to have another test next Wednesday, actually. The test next Wednesday will not be a super long test. It's not on a lot of stuff. But we will have a test next Wednesday, and then we should be starting to get ready for our 9 weeks test. So it's still coming up. We still have a few more things. All right, Mary Webb?
Can you do number 15?
We will. All right. Yes. Oh, yeah, we're good. We have plenty of time. Okay. All right, let's look at number 10. All right, I'm actually going to flip my paper over so all of my adding and subtracting problems are together. All right. Number 10. And I guess I could have written on here, we're going to put on the back. Okay, so I just wrote on the back and flipping it over. All right. Number 10 says 5 over 6 minus 1 over 2. Since I know I'm writing these on a separate sheet of paper, I'm going to double check and triple check that I copied the problem down correctly. It does say 5 over 6 minus 1 over 2, so we are good. All right, are we good to multiply these right now? No, my bottom numbers do not match. Guys, please remember, always check and see, can I make the little number look like the big number? That's the first thing you want to check. Can I make 2 look like a 6?
Yes.
Yeah, what can I do now?
Times 3.
Times it by 3. And if I do it on the bottom? Do it on top. Okay, we have to show our work here. So I'm going to leave my 5 over 6 like it is. Minus 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 2 is?
6.
Now can I subtract these?
Yes.
Yes. All right. 5 minus 3 is? 2. What about 6 minus 6? Do I do that? No, we worked hard to get a match. That just stays a 6. All right. 2 over 6, good answer?
No.
Not yet. What's wrong with this answer?
Simplify.
Simplify. Braden, what can I divide these by?
2.
2. 2 divided by 2 is? 1. And 6 divided by 2 is? 1/3. Excellent. All right, number 11. We have 5 over 8 plus 3 over 5. Right now, can I add those? No. What? So let's look at our small number. Can I make 5 look like an 8? No. So we're going to make that list of numbers. So 5 and 8. Which list is easier to make, the 5 or the 8? The 5, because it's 5. After 5 is 10. Can I make 8 a 10? No. After 10, 15. Can I make 8 a 15? No. 20. Can I make 8 a 20? No. 25? No. 30?
No.
35?
No.
40?
Yes.
Yeah, so we want to use 40 because I know that I can make 8 a 40. Are we good with that? Okay. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 5, and if I do it on the bottom, do it on top. And I multiply 5 times 8. If I do it on the bottom, do it on top. Because our goal is to make a 40. All right, so my first fraction becomes 25 over 40 plus 3 times 8 is 24 over 40 equals 25. Now I'm ready to add this because they match. 25 plus 24. 49. 49. All right, and 40 plus 40? Just a 40. Leave it as 40. Very good. All right. This is improper. All right, so we can divide this. So we're going to do 40 at the door because it's on the bottom. Remember, whatever is down goes at the door. How many times will 40 go into 49? 1. So that's my big number. There's my 1. Okay. 1 times 40 is? 40. When I subtract, I get? 9. So how many are left over? 9. So that's going to go on the top here. And what's on the bottom? 40. All right, do y'all see how I use my division to help me fill that in? Okay. Yes. All right, number 12. So we have 2 and 1/7 plus 8 and 4 over 21. All right, you'll notice I'm writing these numbers big just so it's just easier to work. We have this whole paper to use. Don't squeeze it into one little piece on the paper. Do my bottom numbers match right now? No. Look at the small number. Can I make the small number match the big number?
Yes.
Yeah, what can I do to 21 to make it match?
3.
Thank you, Julia, for raising your hand. Times it by 3. Are we okay with that so far? All right, Julia, what's my new fraction going to be? Perfect. 2 and 3 over 21 plus, am I going to change the second one, Julia? We're just leaving it like that. Okay. All right, 2 plus 8 is?
7.
2 plus 8 is? 10. And then 3 plus 4 is? 7. No, you're good. So I get 10 and 7 over 21. Is that a good way to leave this problem? No, guys, this is a really easy one to make a mistake on. I've seen a lot of people leave 7 and 21. What can I use to simplify this? Haley? 3 will not go into 7. Mary, what? 7. What's happening in your head, you're thinking 7 goes into 21 3 times, right? But the number I'm actually dividing by is 7. Okay. So I still have my 10. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And 21 divided by 7 is 3. And that's where y'all are getting that 3 from, the ones that wanted to use 3. All right. Number 13. I have 24 and 1/6 minus 10 and 7/12. All right. Can I subtract those right now? No. So we're still going to look at the little number. Can I make my little number look like the big number?
Yes.
Yes. What am I going to do to make that happen? Chikaria.
Times 2.
Times 2. If I do it on the bottom,
To the top.
go to the top. All right, Jessica, what's my new problem going to say? 2/12. So I have 24 and 2/12 minus 10 and 7/12. I'm running into a little bit of a problem here. Can I do 2 minus 7? No, so we're going to have to borrow. This is where things have gotten a little tricky for us in the past. What am I going to do to borrow? Raise your hand if you can walk me through those steps. Anyone think they can walk me through them? Gabrielle, I have not heard from you.
You minus the big one by 1, and then you add the bottom number to the top number.
Perfect explanation. We're going to take 1 away from the big number, and we're going to add whatever is on the bottom to the top. So I'm going to add 12. So now I have 23. 12 plus 2 is 14 over 12 still, minus 10 and 7 over. Now can I subtract 14 minus 7?
Yes.
Yeah, 14 minus 7 is 7 over 12. That's my answer?
No.
No, do not forget. 23 minus 10 is 13, right? Number 14, I have 15 and 10 17ths plus 13 17ths. Can I add this right now? Yeah, the bottom numbers match. So what do I get on top? 10 plus 13 is? 23 over 17. What's going to be in front? 15. All right, so we got a problem. I have an improper fraction, but I also have a mixed number, so this is a messed up number. All right, so we need to look at that 23 and 17 first. Okay, so 17 divided into 23. How many times can 17 go into 23?
Once.
1 time. 1 times 17 is 17. When I subtract, see, we can borrow. 13 minus 7 is 6. Okay, so what's this going to change into? Just this part in the circle. 23 over 17 is the same as 1 is my whole number. And what's left over? 6. And what's going to be on the bottom? 17. But what was still in front of that?
15.
A 15. So I need to put these two pieces together. So I need to put my 15 and my 1 together. When I put 15 and 1 together, what does that give me? 16. And then 6 17th. Okay. I got that really, really well. Are there any questions about that one? All right. Number 15. This is the one that one of us asked about. Mary Webb, is that who? She had jumped ahead and saw 15 looks a little crazy. All right. Before we do 15, I want us to do one up on here on the board together. Okay, so this is just another example of a problem very similar to this. All right, just an extra example. 9 minus 3 2/5. Can I subtract that right now? No. All right. Is there a fraction next to 9? No. I'm going to make one next to 9. Are y'all okay with that? Y'all agree there is 0 fraction next to 9. So if I make a fraction, I'm going to put 0 on top over 5, so the denominator's already matched. What's 0 over 5 the same as? 0? Are y'all okay with where I kind of made up that fraction? Okay. Are y'all okay with where I got the 5 from?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do this just like before. If I have a whole number, what am I going to do to it? I'm going to borrow from it. So I'm going to take one away. So 9 becomes 8. What do I do to the top? Add what? 5. So that becomes 5 over 5. So the only thing I did different here is if it doesn't have a fraction, I added a 0 over, and the denominator I picked is just whatever matches with the next fraction. Just so they match. Now can I subtract these? Yes. So 5 minus 2 is 3, and 8 minus 3 is 5. So I get 5 and 3 fifths there. Alright, so let's look at the one that was on our homework now. Alright, so this one says 6 minus 1 and 4/7, right? Is there a fraction next to 6? No. What fraction do I want to make happen there? There's not a fraction, so I want to put 1 there. What do I want to put on the top of that fraction? 0, because there is 0 fraction there, so I'm going to put 0. What's going to go on the bottom of that fraction? Julia? 7. Now I can borrow just like normal. Are there any questions where I got 0 over 7 from? Okay. So we're going to take 1 away from 6. That becomes 5. Add the bottom to the top. So 0 plus 7 is? 7 over 7 minus 1 and 4/7. Okay. All right, working this one out. 7 minus 4 is? 3. 7 minus 7? Just the 7. Just leave it there. And 5 minus 1? 4. All right, let's do one more of these. Let's make up another one. All right, and I feel like some of us are still kind of going, not completely comfortable with that. What if I gave you 24 minus 8 and 2 11? Does 24 have a fraction next to it? No. So what am I going to put there? 0 over 11. Okay, are there any questions where I got 0 over 11 from? Is that becoming a little bit more comfortable now that we've done it a couple times? Okay. All right, so what am I going to do tomorrow? Go. 1 from 24. And let's add 11 to the top. So what's that going to become? 11 over 11, and then minus 8 into 11. Now can I subtract that? Yeah, 11 minus 2 is? 9 over 11. 23 minus 8 is going to be 15. Okay? Is that better? All right, we're going to do one more because I forgot that Keegan was working out in the hall. So let's do one more. Keegan, this is for you. All right. Give me a number. Carrie, give me a number. Any number. 18. Minus, give me a number that's smaller than 18, Easton. 15. Give me a number, RJ. 8. And give me an odd number, right? 11. Did we just do 11?
Yeah.
5.
15, 5. Thank you. No.
We'll do 15. We'll play together. 11 and 5 will make it 15.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, Keegan, what we ran into is 18 minus 15 and 8/15. Do I have a fraction with 8/15? No. So what we did was we put 0 next to it because there is 0 fraction. I need a denominator to go with that 0. What's an easy denominator to pick, Jakaria? 15, so that they match already. So there is no fraction, so I just put 0 over 15 because that's the same as 0 is nothing. Are you okay with that? All right, how do I borrow, Keegan? Perfect, so that becomes 17, and? Add what's the top? Don't stop whispering. 15. Because it's whatever's on the bottom. So the only thing that we really did differently on this one, Keegan, is if there's not a fraction, put 0 over whatever denominator is in the other one. Minus 15 and 8/15. Could you work it from there? Good. All right. Let's go back to our last problem on here besides our vocabulary. Number 16. We just did 15. So this is number 16. Okay. It says, I'm going to put it up here so we can read it together. It says that Jenna has 20 questions on homework. She works 1/3, how would I write that? 1/3 of her homework at school and half the questions at home. How would I write half? 1/2, right? That's a half, 1/2. What fraction of her homework did she complete? Does it ask how many questions? No, it just says what fraction. Did I even need to know this part? No, this is extra information to make it harder. It just wants to know what fraction did she do. So she did 1/3 and she did a half. What am I going to do with those two fractions? I'm going to put them together by adding them up. All right, so let's look on our paper. We're going to do 1/3 plus 1/2. So we have 1/3 plus 1/2. Are there any questions on how I came up with that problem? Okay, there's one like it on our test. 1/3 plus 1/2. Can I add those right now? What is a good denominator for 3 and 4, 2? Jessica. 6. So we're going to do 3 times 2 and the top times 2. And we're going to do 2 times 3 and the top times 3. So I get 2 over plus 3 over 6, which gives me 5 over 6. So, and I'm going to write my fraction. That's my answer. So over here it says, what fraction of her homework did she complete? She completed 5/6 of her homework. It says what fraction of her homework did she complete? So we said 5/6 of her homework. Do you see how that of her homework is repeating in my sentence and my question? Okay, that's going to be important tomorrow when you write your sentence. All right, I'm going to pause our recording. I want you to look at these definitions. I want you to try to fill them in without a word bank. My regular classes will get a word bank tomorrow. Advanced does not get a word bank, all right? It is good practice right now, though. Try these on your own without a word bank, and then we're going to go over them in just a minute to make corrections, okay? So I'm going to pause this without looking at your notes. All right, so now looking down at the bottom, all right, to fill in these vocabulary words. In order to blank, you must reduce a fraction to its lowest terms by canceling the lowest common factor for both the numerator and the denominator. What lets me reduce or make something lower? What is that called, RJ? So subtraction does make something smaller, but what's going to reduce a fraction? What's going to reduce a fraction? There's my vocabulary words, just as a little reminder. Mason? Simplify. So we're going to use the word simplify. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it out up here. So we're going to use simplify, and let's fill that in. Simplify. Okay. What is the result of division? What's that called? Peyton? Quotient. So I'm going to come over here to my screen. I'm going to mark out quotient. Okay. What is the result of subtraction? Gabriella? Difference. I'm going to mark that out. The next one says result of addition. So we use difference. Which of these words is going to be the result of addition? Jakaria? Sum. So we have the sum. Alright, the number below the line. Which number would be below the line in a fraction? Below the line in a fraction. Braden. Denominator. Remember, below the line, down. Denominator for down. So we're going to fill in denominator. All right. Next one says the result of multiplication. What's going to be the result of multiplication? Julia? Product. I'm going to take product off the list. So we have product. All right. So the only thing that's left up on the screen is numerator and numerator. So it ended up on here twice. On the test, it'll only be there once. All right. Let's look for what the key words are for a numerator. It says the number above the line in a fraction. So we know that's the numerator. And then it says the number above the line in the fraction. And its used is the dividend, the one that's in. All right, that one is also the numerator. So both of them, guys, say above the line, above the line. So that has to be the numerator, all right? Please study the Quizlet tonight to practice those.